Alright you guys, so it is time to declutter my eyeshadow palettes. This is a lot of eyeshadow palettes. I have 69, I just counted. So I really do want to cut this down because I don't need this many. So we are going to go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and just start grabbing stuff with what I know I kind of want to keep. What's funny is that these three right here are all super similar. This is the Royals from Profusion. This is Dazed from Covergirl. And then this is the Rimmel Color Edition. I think what I'm going to do is get rid of the Rimmel. I really like this formula, but I just don't reach for this palette a ton. So I'm going to pass that on. I'm going to keep the Covergirl and the Profusion because I like both of these formulas and I really enjoy the purples in the Covergirl palette. So I'm going to keep both of those. These two were over here, kind of off the camera. These are from LA Colors, the Cool and the Nude. Didn't love these. I'm going to go ahead and pass those. The Burgundy Bar from Maybelline. I love this so much. It is just a great, warm, mainly shimmer palette, but it's a really great formula, so I'm going to keep that. These two from Maybelline are the City Mini, but they are, they are the all matte ones. I really love both of these. I'm going to keep those. These two from Smashbox, one is the Ablaze, and then this is the Ablaze little cover shot palette, and then this one is the Sultry, I think is what it's called. It's like a more cool toned one. I got these in a set at a cosmetic company outlet because I've never tried the formula. To be honest, I don't love the formula. It's just kind of mediocre and I don't ever reach for them. So I'm going to go ahead and pass those. I have two ELF Mad for Matte palettes still. I have Holy Smokes, which is kind of like a cool toned, neutral, somewhat kind of pop of color, all matte palette. And then I have Jewel Pop. Jewel Pop is probably my favorite out of the two. And so I'm going to go ahead and keep this one and then pass on Holy Smokes. Okay, let's go ahead and touch on the rest of my Covergirl palettes. So I have the True Naked Sunsets, which is a lot of really pretty pinks and oranges. I have the Nudes, which, to be honest, this is probably expired. I need to get rid of this. This is from, like, when they first came out. So I'm going to go ahead and pass that one. And then this is Peach Punch. I struggle with this because I really do enjoy this palette, but I never reach for it. And I have a lot of peachy palettes, and my sister actually really wants this. So I will go ahead and pass that on to her. And then this one I think I will keep just because I'm not keeping any other Covergirl ones. And I do really like the formula. And out of all of them, this one is my favorite. Oh wait, I am keeping another Covergirl one. The Dazed. Oh well, I still want to keep this one. Okay, this one from Broadway Colors in Aphrodite. It's a really beautiful, kind of pinky, cool toned palette. The formula is good, but I never reach for it. I'm going to go ahead and pass it. This little quad from ELF I don't love. I'm going to pass that. My Eyelux quads from LA Girl. I really do love these and they're just so easy. You can just kind of grab them and go. So I'm going to keep those. This one from Essence in this shade Toffee. This is the All About kind of eyeshadow palettes. Pretty, but I never reach for it. So I am going to pass that. These two from Catrice. Again, I really like the formula, but I never reach for this. This is Blossom and then just a matte one. So I'm going to get rid of those. Marvelous Mauves from Dose of Colors. This is what it looks like. It's just a bunch of matte mauve shades. I'm going to keep that. I love those kinds of tones. These two from Persona are the Color Theory kits. You have the pink one, which is all matte, and then the copper one, which has some shimmer in it. I am going to keep both of those. I love that formula so much. My Lorac Unzipped. I don't love this as much as I used to. I just feel like the formula is not the same. It's maybe gone bad. I think it kind of has expired probably. So I'm going to go ahead and give that. My Lorac Pro 4, I love this. This is a newer release from them. It came out this year. I love it so much. Going to keep it. But you guys, to be honest, I think I'm going to get rid of the other three. I have been holding on to these. The 1 and the 2 are so expired. And then the 3 I just never ever reach for. And I did do a video like, oh, products I can't part with, and the 1 and the 2 were in there. And I keep thinking to myself, oh, I need to hold on to them for reference. I need to hold on to them for reference. But you know what? There are so many pictures of these palettes out there in the world that I don't need to keep them for reference. So I'm going to pass on all 3 of these. I never thought would happen. Okay, Viseart Golden Hour. I really struggle with getting this open, but also with Viseart formula. I don't love it as much as some other people do. It's good. It's just, I don't think it's worth the price at all. This palette is good. I don't reach for it a ton, but I just can't part with it because it is Viseart and I spent so much money on it. And I do use it like enough, so I'm going to keep it. Same with the Petite Pro 2. This is more like pinky peach kind of thing. I love these type of colors. I don't think the formula is bad. It's just not my favorite, and I don't think I'll buy any more. Like, I just don't think they're worth the money. Okay, moving on to more kind of drugstore. So this is the Spice Edition from Rimmel. I love this palette so much. I'm going to keep it. The Rimmel formula is really underrated, I think. This one is Neutrals 3 from Makeup Revolution. It's a reloaded palette. I love it. I also love the one in Visionary. These purples and browns and pink is just so stunning. I also love this one. This is Division. Yeah, Division. It's so beautiful with the greens and the mustard yellows. This one, however, is Neutrals 2. This is just kind of all the same shades, and I just don't really ever reach for it. So I'm going to go ahead and pass that one on. Great formula. I just don't reach for that. My 2 Makeup Revolution Emily Edit palettes, I'm obviously going to keep. Duh. This one from LA Girl, I'm like really struggling with. It's the Revere palette. I got this because I was like, oh, this is awesome. It's a huge palette. It's drugstore. It's like $20, 35 shadows. But it's not the best formula. You can definitely get some pretty looks with it. But it's just not my all-time favorite. But I did just get it, and I kind of, you know what, no, I'm just going to go ahead and pass it on because, yeah, I just bought it and I reviewed it, and it's okay, but I have all of these shades somewhere else in my collection that I just don't need to hold on to this big palette for no reason. Okay, my e.l.f. Opposites Attract palette, I'm so keeping. I love this palette so much. The Profusion Pro Pigment Palette, I see this at Walmart, but it's labeled Berries, so I don't know if they just changed the name. It's okay. These shadows are so hit and miss for me. I really enjoy the mattes. They have an all matte palette that I would consider buying, but I don't love the shimmers. I like the shimmers in the Royals palette, but for some reason in this palette, I just don't love it. So I'm going to go ahead and pass this. The Balm Meet Matrimony eyeshadow palette. This is just an all matte palette. Do I keep this or not? I mean, I like it. I just don't think I need it. I don't reach for these shades a lot. I don't reach for this palette a lot. It's just not something that I'm super into. I just have all of these shades somewhere else. So I'm going to go ahead and declutter that. My 2 Colourpop palettes that I have are the Give It To Me Straight palette, which is more warm, and then the Fame palette, which is more cool toned. I'm going to keep both of these. I love the Colourpop formula. The Midsummer Night palette from Bad Habit is also really beautiful. And I feel like if I'm going to keep a bigger palette, this is the kind of palette that I will keep. Like, I like these tones a lot, so I'm going to go ahead and keep that. As well as the Artistry palette from Bad Habit, which is the Anastasia Mario dupe. And I really love a lot of these tones. So I'm going to keep both of those palettes. I'm obviously going to keep my Persona Identity palette. This is like my favorite palette of life. It is so gorgeous. Love it so much. This BH Cosmetics Royal Affair palette is newer to me. I really love this. I like the tones in here. I think it's different, so I do want to keep this one as well. So the Too Faced Clover palette was limited edition, and I usually don't buy limited edition things just because I can't show them for a long time on my channel. but I love this palette so much. I did not think I would as much as I do, but oh my gosh, I love the cool and the warm, and it's just so fun, and I really just, I love this palette. So I'm going to keep that, as well as my chocolate bar. This is like a staple. You just have to have this in your collection, I think. So love that. My Juvia's Place, the Masquerade Mini Palette. I really like Juvia's Place formula. I think it's really buttery and really creamy. I like that you get colors in here as well as neutrals. So I'm going to keep that. As well as the Deuce palette. I have not played with this as much as I should have. I got this year, and it's pretty and I play with it, but just like I said, not nearly as much as I should. I definitely need to bust this out more, so I am going to keep this palette as well. So I have 4 palettes from Milani. I have Soft and Sultry, Bold Obsessions, Pure Passion, and Most Loved Mattes. So Most Loved Mattes is a all matte palette, obviously, and it is like, you get some warm, you get some cool, you get some orange, you get some purple. I love this palette. I'm going to keep it. Bold Obsessions I also love so much. It's like a really great neutral palette at the drugstore. You can find these at Walmart for 15 bucks or on the Milani website for 20. Now these two are newer, Soft and Sultry and Pure Passion. Soft and Sultry is a great cool toned palette. I love this one so much. I am definitely going to keep this. However, I think I'm going to pass on Pure Passion, and just because a lot of these shades I have in the other 3 that I'm keeping, and it's just not my favorite. It's not the most inspiring to me. It's just kind of, you know, reds and oranges, and that's pretty much it. So I'm going to go ahead and pass that one on because I just don't reach for that one, but I'm going to keep these 3. Now from Tarte, I have the Tartelette Flirt palette. This is kind of like a mini version of the Toasted. I love this. It's warm, but it's still really small and compact. And so I'm going to keep this one, especially since I'm not keeping Pure Passion from Milani. So this is what these 2 palettes look like next to each other. I feel like this is just a condensed version of this one. So I'm going to keep the Tarte but pass on the Milani. Okay, this one from Collab is Best of the Day. I love the Collab formula. It is creamy, it is buttery, it blends so well. I know I'm keeping a lot of the other ones that I have that are like oranges and pinks and stuff, but this formula is just absolutely wonderful that I definitely want to keep this. Okay, moving on to my Anastasia palettes. I have Modern Renaissance, which is, again, warm, orange, pink. Norvina, which is like purpley pinks and neutrals. And then Soft Glam, which is like warm neutrals with a little bit of pink in there. I love all 3 of these. However, I'm keeping so many oranges and pinks that I think I'm going to go ahead and pass along Modern Renaissance. And the packaging is getting kind of weird. I just don't need it with how all the other oranges and pinks I'm keeping. And I would rather just keep these two over this one as well. Okay, I have this one from LA Colors, which is their 16 color eyeshadow palette in Smokin'. And it's a great colorful shimmery palette, but I have all of these and other palettes that I just don't need this one. Laura Mercier, this is Hidden Gems palette. This was sent to me, and I did a look with it. Don't love it. It's not that great. Don't think it's worth the money. Wouldn't buy it. This one from LA Colors is Flirty. I love this palette because of all the cool tones you get and like the purples and the pinks. So I think I'm going to keep it because it's a really affordable palette and it's really good. Now I have all 4 of my Mega Pros from Lorac. I have the Mega Pro 4, 3, 2, and 1. The 1 is actually the one that's the newest to me because I did buy this. Was it this year or late last year, I think? I love this so much. I'm going to keep that one for sure. Oh, I think I'm going to keep all of these, maybe. I'm definitely going to keep the 4. Am I going to keep the 3? The 3 is so neutral and beautiful. I actually really like to use this when I do makeup on other people. And then I'm just going to keep all 4 of these. So I went ahead and decided to declutter the True Naked Sunsets from Covergirl because I am keeping the collab palette that is so similar to this and a bunch of other ones that have these kinds of tones. So I'm getting rid of 25, which makes me keeping 44. Not my best declutter, but I am getting rid of a lot that I just don't use, so that makes me happy. And I think I just need to be a little bit more methodical and like think about it before I actually purchase a eyeshadow palette in 2019. But that is it for this declutter for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I just did a lip product declutter, so I will link that below for you guys. Don't forget to check that out and subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye!